Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again. We wanted to provide y'all with an update after this morning's assessment. Judge Carter with Tom Green County. Right now, what we have is an update kind of on the heaviest hit, the hardest hit areas. Mayor Thompson and I were able to get up into the DPS helicopter and assess some areas this afternoon after signing our declarations of disaster while we were set up at the AgriLife Center out there on North 87. What we sort of assessed from the air, it's a widespread effect. Heaviest hits northeast San Angelo, ranging anywhere between Loop 306 and Bell Street, Spalding, Prizer, Coberland, Bell Street itself, going all the way over to the Chadburn Street. Looked like water was over the entire road, ranging out. Not sure exactly how many feet past Chadburn, but on both sides of the neighborhoods, ranging Coliseum, Lakeview area. Dr. Moran from SAISD said there's flooding in the gym there, so it ranges all the way over to Lakeview Heroes Drive. Also ranging from FM 2105 at the intersection of 87, where we first saw the first water rescues this morning, with Navajo and Aztec drives being heavy hit with those low water crossings. Like I said, it's widespread. We've seen it and from the air, mapped it out as much as possible to know where we're going to be assessing that damage, and further going along with that so we can hopefully get some assistance statewide. That's what the disaster declarations will help with. We've sent those off along with the letters to the governor to help with assistance in this area. At this time, I will hand it off to Sheriff Nick Hanna to kind of discuss what roads are still on closures and which ones are impassable. Sheriff.
Thank you, Judge. All right, good afternoon. What a fourth it's been, right? Okay, the roadways in Tom Green County are largely receding with the exceptions of FM 765 and 2334 eastward, which is the very best road. That road is closed to through traffic. Several roadways on the east side of the county, 765, 2334, those type roads have water over them, but they are passable. We would just suggest if you do not have to drive, then don't drive. Water levels are receding on our roadways, Concho, Middle Concho. They are expected to crest in the next 20 minutes at Paint Rock, but then they are expected to start receding at that time. So if your home is in a low-lying area, going forward for this weekend, you may want to find some alternate plans or find other places to relocate till this system kind of clears out. So really just encourage our neighbors. I've seen a lot of neighbors working together. We're really happy about that. It really does mean a lot when you get texts from your friends across the state. Evidently we've made a lot of news across Texas, but it does make an impact when you get friends from locally and across the state and saying, hey, we're praying for you guys and lifting you guys up, and we're certainly feeling that. And we're encouraged that San Angelo has responded so positively. And with that, speaking of San Angelo, Mayor Tom Thompson, I'll let you give your information. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Hanna. Tom Thompson, I'm the mayor of San Angelo, Texas. I want to bring up the fact that I want to thank the community for all their generosity and concern that they've shown and just never-ending help that they've thrown out today. I also like to thank the state of Texas for adding their resources in. It has been absolutely a learning process, but I will say right now the response and the group collective effort here has been second to none. I mean, everybody's worked great together. I'd also like to throw out a special thanks to August Pfluger's Congressional District number 11. They have supplied us with extremely good support. Ask is what I need. Drew Darby, same thing. Any assets we need, please don't be afraid to ask. Those conversations have been had, and that support is ready to come whenever we need it. Right now, I want to go into what we're talking about for shelter for the citizens of San Angelo. We have immediate shelter concerns. If you can get to Paul Ann Church before 7 o'clock today, they will be here. After 7 o'clock today, if you need immediate shelter, you need to call the San Angelo Police Department non-emergency line at 325-657-4315. That's 325-657-4315. For information and resources that become available after this evening, you need to call 211. 211 is a resource line. you need to have your zip code ready. When they answer the phone, you'll give them a zip code. They will direct you to whatever resources are needy, or you'll need. There'll be talk about shelter, food, provisions. A group that's done an outstanding job here so far has been the United Way. The United Way is taking non-perishables and donations. You can call the United Way at 325-949-3716. Monetary donations, we've had several calls, are going to be handled by the San Angelo Area Foundation. That's SAAFOUND.org. You also find it on their opening webpage where you can go and donate. They will manage all those monetary donations for us. Talking about debris, a lot of us have a lot of debris inside our house that needs to go out. Feel free to take it out of your house. Do not put it on the street. Do not try to go to the landfill. The landfill is closed to the public. It's going to be working commercial and disaster relief as we speak. We need all this on the curb. We're going to figure out a community location for the north side. We'll probably come up with 1 or 2 locations to take our debris. We need to actually look at this and quantify it to help us with our disaster assessment later down the line. So to reiterate it, as far as your debris, get it outside your house. Don't put it in the street. Get it to the curb, and within the next day or so, we'll give you information on how we're going to pick that up and remove your process. For those people that do have damage inside your home, there's a process with the Texas Department of Emergency Management called ISTAT. Don't worry too much about that right now. We'll get you more details, and they'll probably send a group in later to help facilitate how you can look for some assistance in that area. But we will say what you need to do is document everything you can. Photos, water lines, measurements, make sure your photos have a ruler with them. Try to get all the information you can to help cover that, and that will help you later in the future. One thing, another group that's ready is the Red Cross is available. You can get a hold of the Red Cross at 1-800-733-2767. And with that right now, I'm going to turn it over to Police Chief Griffith, and he'll give you an update of what PD has gone through today and some assessments for your questions now.
I want to say thank you to the media for being able to work with us today to put all the information out. Today has been a life-changing event for many of our residents here in San Angelo. Our first responders have been through a lot today, both the fire department, police department, our local law enforcement, sheriff's department. I've heard some wonderful stories about their actions. DPS, our local troopers, have been tremendous. We've had just under 1,000 calls for service in the last 12 hours from various nature of calls, mainly related to the high water. Just right under those calls that have come in, the actual dispatch calls, we sent people out with just under 400. What that means is sometimes you have duplicate calls that come in of people, but it's been a lot initially for our resources. I want to say thank you to the city because they provide us with take-home police cars for a big chunk for our department. That has proven to be invaluable. We had a large number of police officers on scene hour after this really started hitting hard. About water rescues have been kind of hard to nail down because we had a lot going on in really about an hour and 15, hour and 30 minutes. It looks like there's just under 100 water rescues is what we've been able to kind of narrow down between duplications. That was being done by the San Angelo Fire Department and the police department at the same time. The fire department put themselves in harm's way over and over again. Chief Brody's team, we can't be more proud of the fire department and their work. Our officers on the street showed up, man, in force, and were able to themselves get into the water, get resources, think outside the box. We've had citizens show up with their boats and start going out there rescuing people. That proved invaluable. I want to say thank you to the citizens that have dropped off food, snacks, and support for our first responders, and also to the citizens that are in need. We've seen people giving clothes and donations of all types. We cannot say thank you enough because it highlights what San Angelo is. It's one of the best communities I've ever had the pleasure to be in, and I'm super proud of each and every one of the folks that have stepped up and helped. I'm going to reiterate something. Barricades are important. We don't want to be messing with people that are driving around barricades, that are driving through high water. It takes us away from what we're already doing. It's also, you may think that roadway is clear. You can have the roadway that's been washed out or damaged underneath in a sinkhole you could drive into, which causes more issues for the repair of the roadway. So I'm asking you to not engage in that. Drive around, as the sheriff said earlier today, turn around, don't drown, right? That's one of those things we want to make sure. We are actively looking for down to one individual. And so we have a search for one individual that is missing, and we'll update as we walk through that part of things. The area that was hit the hardest for us, where we saw the most response, was south of the loop and in between the Concho River on Bell Street. That general vicinity will have additional police for the next 48 hours minimum. That means we'll have that district that's going to be manned by numerous police officers to make sure we don't have any thefts or things occur that shouldn't be. And we'll be working through that. I'm going to turn it over for any other questions to them.
Griff, we're going to bring up Shane Kelton, operations. He's going to talk about water levels.
Shane Kelton has been, his crew, while he's walking up here, come on up. I'll say, just about every city employee you can think of responded today, from parks to streets and everything in between, and they have done a tremendous job. I can't tell you, we would not have been able to do what we did without having the resources of Shane's crew, so thank you.
Shane Kelton, Executive Director of Public Works for the city. We have seen quite a bit of water around town. We've seen not only everything from the north side coming in, we've seen a lot of water hit our creeks, East Angelo Draw coming through the middle of town. And so, again, record volumes of water that we've seen, especially in East Angelo Draw, coming down from the north end of town. So it's been quite staggering. We've seen Bell Street gauging station peaked at 18 feet, which is one of the highest levels I've ever seen that gauging station peak at. Currently, it is back down to about 8.5, 9 feet right now. So again, we're starting to see the waters recede and starting to come back down. Seeing that all across town. Of course, it's still going to be draining as it's coming down from the north part of 2105 and coming through the north part of town. It's still going to take quite a while for the waters to recede down to where we can get in and really start assessing all of the damages that we're seeing around town. So again, of course, further downstream in the Concho, we are seeing paint rock, as they stated earlier, should peak here rather quickly, and again then start subsiding after that. So again, we have again seeing record rainfalls and record water levels hitting parts of town that we've never seen before. So again, any questions that we have regarding that? Okay. Judge?
Thank you all again. I want to reiterate one thing. As you see the individuals up here, and what you don't see is the individuals in this room behind the cameras. I'm going to reemphasize just the partnerships that we have working together between county, city, nonprofits. It is truly amazing of what community that we live in, banding together and making sure that we take care of our own. But one thing I also want to reiterate is, for the curiosity factor, to help limit any more unnecessary risk and rescues. Please avoid the areas. If you are not in that affected area, please avoid that to where it limits any additional harm or potential loss of property or life. We do not, according to the National Weather Service, we have no hard anticipation of heavy rainfall. Do not rule it out. We did not expect this amount to begin with, so let's not take it for granted in the next few days where we have any kind of chance. Know where the low water crossings are. Avoid those areas. Do not travel if you do not have to. If there's any questions from y'all, we'll be happy to answer it. Let me add one thing. When it comes down to our assessments, TDEM, Texas Department of Emergency Management, with Sean Baxter and his team here, they're the boots on the ground, the guys behind the scenes making it happen, our contacts with the state. What we will see in the future is the assessments of what's called ISTAT and PSTAT. ISTAT is for individual assessments, PSTAT will be for governmental bodies, commercial buildings, things like that. At that time, if we need help with assistance assessing property for hopeful assistance from the state. There will be individuals to help, monitor that and help those individuals. That way they can potentially get some aid. So with that, questions?
You mentioned there's one person missing. Can you address, have there been any injuries or deaths from the flooding?
Yes, sir. So we have seen individuals transported to our area hospitals. Thankfully, those have not been life-threatening. We worked out many, it took a lot of time with our criminal investigations. We worked out many people that were just, were originally reported missing that we've located. Right now, there is one outstanding and at this time, we have no reported deaths, but we do have one outstanding.
And when, on the person who's missing, is there any information that you want to get out to the public about what to look for to find this person?
Right now, we're working a particular area of town, and we're working through that. If it expands beyond that particular part of town, then we will put that out.
Okay, one follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned all the police officers under your command who had cars at their house and how you're able to rapidly respond. I heard this morning that 100% of your force was out.
Well, I can't.
How many people were out?
I can tell you it was well over 100 San Angelo police officers. I can't tell you 100%. What we did is what's called an all-call. We requested every resource that's available that's in town. We had some people that are on vacation or that might have been hurt or sick that couldn't come in. But I would estimate somewhere around 85% of our department was there.
Okay. For context, you said you had 100 calls or 1,000 calls for service.
1,000
What's
people.
a normal day?
Yeah, we would be in a normal day like today. We would see higher call through volume because it is 4th of July. But for just a regular day, we would see anywhere from 500 calls would be high for us. Right?
So you're about double the calls for service.
Well over that. Yeah, that for 4th of July, that's high. Yeah, so that's why I'm giving a context for that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I got a question for Judge Carter. You're filing for you're setting us up for the disaster relief funding. Are there any preliminary estimates on how much damage is out there?
Not at this time. It's hard to assess, especially for the areas that we can't get to monitor it directly up close to that particular property. We have a map that I've drawn out based off of our assessment from the air of the areas to look for with my just a preliminary sketch of what we saw, what neighborhoods were assessed. That will help our operations department to go and monitor that and hopefully get a number. I feel confident that we were probably over our threshold.
And what is the threshold?
I believe the last threshold, don't quote me on the numbers, Sean might know this, but I think it was a $52 million. Sean Baxter's, I think he's stepped up. Tom Green County, what is our threshold currently? Yeah.
Approximately $55 million for the total state.
55 million for the state. So Tom Green County, we're definitely over our threshold.
Okay. And I have, Joe Hutch, San Angelo, by the way. I have one more question. There was a fire truck on Houston Hart underneath the Bell Street Bridge. What are the circumstances? Was that a water rescue and all of a sudden this torrential tidal wave comes down the Houston Harbor?
I have not heard a confirmation on that. I believe it was a volunteer fire department because if you have seen it, the old engine was it was not a city, it was an old city fire truck given out to but purchased by a volunteer fire department. I cannot confirm which one it was.
Okay, so it wasn't a San Angelo Fire Department
No,
vehicle.
no.
It looked like one, so everyone was thinking.
Right,
hey,
right.
It was an old one.
So do you think it was just out gallivanting around, or was it?
No, I believe it might have been on a call. You want to say that?
Yeah.
You know that one?
So we've had people all the way from Crockett County come in. We had Fort Worth Fire Department had a team, a Swiftwater team. We've had law enforcement from all over and fire officials come in. So this was self-dispatching, if you will, of a volunteer fire department that was actively. Again, that's why it's so hard to track down how many, because the amount of water that came down. I'm hearing somewhere 14 inches within that time frame. That's a massive amount of water and a number of low water crossings that were being picked up by citizens, by volunteers, by first responders of all types. So I appreciate them for what they do.
I just want to throw something out. I think it's time that we show people why we're from San Angelo and why we're Texans. It's mostly the north and the northeast side of town that was the hardest hit with the flooding. If you know somebody in that area, pick up the phone, give them a call and see if they need some help. All right, a lot of times people are afraid to ask for help. Don't be ashamed or don't think it's going to bother somebody. Just pick up the phone. If you need help, call a friend and ask. If you're on the other part of town or something that you can give some help out, just call up there and check on your neighbors, check on your local citizens, see if there's anything you can do to help them out. With that, we're open up for any more questions. Yes, sir.
Do we know how many people might have been displaced in this action?
You know, we were talking about that this morning. We have no way to assess that now. That'll be a hard number even to come up with by Sunday. But you can say right now, if it affected that size, and that's mostly SMD4, that's around 15,000 people in that district minimum that were just, you know, voters, residents. So you can probably say it affected over 30,000 people. That's just a guess, but that's a lot. It's a lot of our family. Anything else?
Next steps for the disaster declaration, like what are you all looking at next? I know you've submitted the declaration, but you know, what's next on, I guess, the state side?
So as the process goes forward, we submit that, TDEM submits it to the governor. We go through, and they're looking at it. I mean, Texas, the state of Texas is dealing with this in several towns and cities all across the state. I mean, there's probably hundreds of us that are filing for the same time. It'll go through a process. Collectively, they'll look at it, come back. And that's why we were talking about the debris. We need to quantify and monetize all the damages every citizen has. I know that kind of seems a little odd at the time, but all of that helps us as a city and a county get relief funds. So when we go through that, we're just trying to monetize a little bit back. Got that one other thing. We will have a press conference at City Hall tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. We'll do that in the East Mezzanine. Lane, you've got some more, and I'll let you close this out.
Our exact number for the threshold for disaster relief is $556,414.26.
That's all.
That is it.
So $500,000.
$500,000. You can tell comfortably say you're well over that. So that's where we sign the letters to the governor's office. We sign the disaster declarations, start monitoring the assessments of the individual's loss, property loss, and government loss. It all formulates into one assessment. It's over that number, we qualify. I can't speak for any other counties, but we have seen other counties being affected. If you have any questions pertaining to those, you would have to reach out to that county judge or that EMC.
For the majority of everything we brought up, go to the City of San Angelo's Facebook webpage. Look for all the information you can there. If not, we'll try to coordinate and link everything that we can disseminate out. For those of y'all not familiar with the 211 system, it's a great process. I know a lot of us aren't very familiar with it, but don't be afraid to call. And with that, we'll wrap it up. We'll see everybody at 1:30 tomorrow, East Mezzanine. Thank you.